What you're looking at is not some strange unknown planet, but our own ever-loving Earth. When Professor von Besch's theory was proved, and it turned sideways. As a result, there's a new North Pole, what used to be the South Pacific island of Rikki-Tikki. Oh, and here in a pot full of ice is Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
Gee, and I was afraid you were going to be boiled in this thing.
Hey, that's it, Bullwinkle.
What's it? You want to get boiled?
No. But if you light a fire under this pot, it'll melt the ice.
A pretty brainy idea, Rock. I'm sure glad you're not froze at both ends.
Me too.
So Bullwinkle struck a match and tried to light the kindling under Rocky's pot, but to no avail.
What's the matter, Bullwinkle?
It was so cold that the match flame had frozen solid.
Might as well put it away till it thaws out. No use wasting it.
Gee, I can't move.
Sure you can.
How?
I'll carry you.
And the mighty moose hoisted his pole and started off.
Bullwinkle! I'm right here, Rock.
I didn't say anything.
I could have swore I heard somebody say,
Rocky!
Hey, that's another voice.
Yeah, pretty blood-chilling, isn't it?
Not very blood-chilling, Rock.
Maybe not for you, but I'm so cold already it doesn't take much.
Oh, they were familiar-type voices, too.
Well, of course they were. That was Captain Peter Peachfuzz and the professor. They must be in trouble.
Sure enough, as Bullwinkle looked down from the top of the hill, he saw their two friends being carried away by a band of half-frozen but still ferocious natives.
We gotta stop them.
You bet. Hey, cut that out, you guys.
It's Bullwinkle and Rocky.
Cut that out, I say.
I do wish he'd stop saying cut that out.
Why?
I'm afraid the natives will take the hill.
Well, the natives lined up in battle array before the charging moose, their sharp spears at the ready, and Bullwinkle chose that moment to trip over his feet.
Oops! He's done for.
Him? What about us?
But in falling, Bullwinkle had dropped the pot containing Rocky and his ice cube.
Oh, Buzz, I got a split. That's going to be hard to pick up, too.
Not too hard, really, for while the captain and the professor took care of one Rikki-Tikkian, the empty pot took care of the other.
Empty pot?
Looky there, Rocky on the rocks.
The collision had freed the plucky squirrel, and he sat unharmed on a pile of ice cubes.
Well, Professor, looks like your theory was right. It's pretty cold.
Yeah, boys, but I wish I wasn't quite so right. And a little bit warmer.
But at that moment...
What happened?
We're in luck. I think Bullwinkle's match is thawed out. Come on.
And while our friends tried to warm their hands behind a smoldering Bullwinkle, they were watched by a pair of evil eyes belonging to... Oh, no.
Ho, ho, ho! Give a guess who?
Oh, come on now. You're not Santa Claus. You're Boris Badenov.
I'm Sandy Claus and I can prove it.
How?
I got a witness. My assistant, Elf.
Isn't she a little tall for an elf?
It's the high heels, darling. They fool you.
Oh, boy.
Well, Elf, it's time to pay our first visit.
To whom, Santa, darling?
To those goody goods on the other end of island. And I take everybody a present, too.
What kind of present?
What else? Bum-bums.
Well, will Boris's dastardly scheme really succeed? We'll find out next time in Claws and Effect, or You'll Be Sorry. Well, it finally happened. Professor von Besch's theory of the polar flip actually came to pass, and the Earth really had a new North Pole. Of course, this caused a great deal of consternation all over the world. London, for instance.
Let's face it, old bean. We're living on a ruddy tropical island.
It was true. People attended the opening day at Ascot and Sarong's. The House of Lords discarded its ermines and dressed exclusively in muumuus, and even the familiar London bobbies looked different. Their helmets were the same, but they now wore shorts and ankle-length stockings called...
If you say bobby socks, so help me, I'll bet you.
Moscow, too, had its troubles.
But you've got to do it, Commissar.
Yet, Vasily, impossible.
But it's so hot. I've got to go where it's cool.
I can't do a thing for you.
But you can. Please, Commissar, send me to Siberia.
And the sudden change in directions had dire effects in the U.S. as well.
Hey, Clint, how come you looking so down in the mouth?
I'm just looking at the new map here, Harold.
And?
The full enormity of what's happened just hit me.
Enormity?
Yep. Look, Texas is now way up here.
What difference does that make, Clint?
Don't you see, Harold? From now on, we're Yankees.
As a matter of fact, only one man seemed delighted at the change. And he was on the island of Rikki-Tikki, which formed the new North Pole. His name, Boris Badenov.
Or as we call him, St. Nicolaus.
Yes, Boris had decided to put himself in the Santa Claus business.
You know a better location?
Think of it, Natasha. People invite you down their chimneys every year. It's like a license to steal.
As if you needed one, darling.
And for his first call, Boris decided to pay a visit to Bullwinkle and Rocky, who were at that moment trying to work out a plan.
Bullwinkle, we just gotta get the world straightened out.
Yeah, and after we do that, let's think about what to have for dinner.
Fortunately, our heroes had the help of Professor Von Beige himself.
Gentlemen, I've got it.
A way to straighten up the world?
No, what to have for dinner? First, a little Kartoffelsuppe
Maybe
mit
we
Leber.
ought to solve the other problem first.
Rocky, when my stomach starts growling, there are no other problems.
Well, let's ask ourselves how this happened in the first place.
All righty. How did this happen in the first place?
I don't know.
Me either. Let's get an easier question.
It happened because the old North Pole got too heavy with ice and snow and slipped over sideways.
Then that's what we'll do.
Slip over sideways?
No, make it snow up here.
Hey, that's a great idea if we don't freeze to death first.
Yes, that was a problem, for with the shift in climate, the bottom had fallen out of every thermometer on the island. Hundreds of natives shivered in the icy blast.
Go on, Chief. Try tell us climate isn't changing.
You young punks always complaining. This just little cold snap.
Cold snap! Man, we living at North Pole.
This is living.
Nonsense, boys. This tropic zone.
Then who that coming? Commander Whitehead?
Jumping Juju. It's Santa Claus.
And his helper.
Then it's true. World has flipped.
Ho, 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 darling.
Hey, Santy, you got a pair of red flannels for me?
You've been a good boy, haven't you?
You bet 'em.
That's why you don't have red flannels. Be bad boy and steal some. Ho, ho, ho.
You know something, Chief?
Huh?
Not only world flip, Santa flip, too.
No, it wasn't the same old generous Santa.
What do you talk? I got it here, special Christmas present for Moose.
Oh, well, that's different. What is it?
I give you one clue. It's a ticking package.
An alarm clock? A wristwatch? An egg timer?
See, Natasha, you can fool some of the people all the time.
And we'll find out just how many people in Boom at the Top are the angry young moose.